Hello world and welcome back to this tutorial, and in this tutorial actually we are going to be completing our HUD. And so first of all, we are going to be adding the loose state. So um, let's go to our HUD, and over here we have to make some few changes. First of all, to the functions that we defined for the restart. When the restart button is pressed, actually we want to fire the signal that just reload the current scene, which is the main scene, the main game scene. So we're going to call this reload current scene function of the get tree. So when the menu button is pressed, we are going to take the player to the menu. So first of all, we need to load it. uh, don't forget how we did that uh, for the menu scene. We create a variable that just reference the the scene that we want to load. So we are using this load function over here to load the scene, and we're going to use the change scene to packed uh, function of the get tree method. So we're going to do the same thing over here, but there is actually another way to do that. You can just call the get tree dot uh, change scene to file instead of change scene to packed. I'm going to reference main the main scene. So now we need the game over uh, function. First of all, when the game is over, we want to display the game over. To change the visibility of a node from um, disabled to enabled, we can just call the show function over here. So the next thing we want to do is actually to pause everything in the game. So we're going to call the get tree dot post, and we're going to set this value to true. And so what this does is that all the nodes, it allows it pauses all the current nodes that are currently running in our scene. So starting from the root node is just going to traverse the tree. So by traversing, I mean it's going to go through all the nodes and just stop all of them. So to avoid the to avoid the paused this pause properties property being applied to the game over node over here, we're going to go under the inspector tab over here, and under process, under this mode property, we're going to set it to always. And so what this does is that uh, when all other nodes are paused, the game over nodes is not going to get paused. And don't forget, since we are not pausing the parent node, the same thing applies to all the children. So, and also we need some quick fixes. For example, since we are pausing all the nodes over here, we need to restart. We need to restart that every time we press the reload current scene by setting the pause property to false. But don't forget, we can't just go uh to the reload current scene. We also have this menu button, and so we are going to do the same thing over here. This is to avoid the game being freezed. So and so right now, what you can do is you can go over the main scene, or maybe no. Let's go back to the main, and in this change health, in this change health, we are going to check if health is wait. Actually, you know what? If player health is 0, I'm thinking about maybe we should let 0 also be health, but I don't want 0 to be here, so less or equal to 0. So we go over to the HUD, and we're going to call the game over function. Now the function must match the function name that we defined over here, so which is this game over function. And now we can test our game. And so, well, the head is 0, and now we are displayed this game over scene. And if you can click the menu, if you want to go to the over to the menu, you can click the restart button over here. Let's check if they are working perfectly. So, well, first of all, that is not perfectly. So under the HUD, oh yeah, this needs to be menu actually, not the main scene. Sorry for that. I'm deeply sorry for that. Let's check things again. So true. Actually, I think in the next part of the tutorial we're going to be adding a sound effect, because this game is very boring without sound already. And so we are taken back to the menu, which is great. And click the play again, because we want to check for the restart button. Maybe that also works or not. So okay, perfect. And in the next tutorial we're going to be continue the development of the game. And what I actually want you guys to do right now is in the main scene, actually we have, uh, we have this transparent background. I want you guys to just add a texturette. Don't forget the texturette is not going to be here. Texturette is going to be under over here, and you want to set it to full rect to just take the background. And at the same time, we have to create a new scene for the about. So I believe by this stage we can do that actually. So go ahead and try that. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how. So also for the image that we'll be using, you can just you can create the image the from the gradient that we discussed about. But don't forget the image is going to get displayed. So to, the image is going to cover all the other nodes. So we can set it to, you can just drag it over here so that it stays in the background. And well, that's it for the tutorial, and I'll see you in the next part of the tutorial. So thank you, and if you've gained a thing or two, please subscribe and be sure to leave your comments. And if you want to support the continuous development of the tutorial, you can support me on my Patreon page. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.